Welcome to Inspired Vinyasa. My name is Sandra, and I want you to start in a comfortable seat like we always do, but really comfortable. I want to sit for a few moments in meditation, and I'll give you a little visualization as we do. But if you want to sit up on a pillow or, well, heck, I can't see you. You could even lay back if you want to and relax. So just get super comfortable and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Huge cleansing exhale. Yeah, that felt good. Let's do it again. Take another deep breath in. Loud exhale. And then go ahead and take the arms all the way out. Bring the palms together and release them home to your heart in prayer pose. As always, we will pause here to set an amazing intention for our practice and beyond. And when you're done, relax the arms, keep the eyes closed, and just soften the breath. As we sit here for a moment, just noticing where your mind wants to go. I'm going to give it a specific place to go so that it doesn't get carried away with you, but I just want you to notice it first. Do you feel like you immediately just softened into your space because you really need your yoga this morning, or did you bring some stresses to the mat? Does the body feel comfortable sitting here? So, being in your home space, you could even back up or move so that you're sitting against the wall for a moment, as long as you can hear me, right? Allow yourself to be completely comfortable, relaxed, happy. And then I want you to imagine that you're sitting somewhere outside. Allow the temperature to be exactly what you want it to be. Right now for us, it's like 90 plus. So bring that down quite a bit, make it comfortable. Who knows? This will be up on YouTube, so there might be snow on the ground at the point that you're watching this. Bring the sun back into the picture. The temperature is perfect. And you are seated somewhere that makes you so happy. So it might be in the grass leaning against a tree. It might be in a hammock. It might be on a blanket, whatever that is to you. And there are so many birds nearby. And I want you to imagine that perhaps we took a handful of birdseed and we threw it way out in front of us so that we have a better view of all the birds. I want you just to see in your mind's eye what that looks like. And I feel like I should mention, with any guided meditation or visualization, if something comes up like birds and you have a fear of birds, set the intention that that fear is no longer there, that you're okay with the birds and that they can't come near you if that's what you'd like. That way it gives you peace of mind that you can relax into the visualization. What I want you to notice about the birds is that they flutter about, they move quickly from one spot to the next, but I don't want you to see that as hurried. I want you to see that as playful, right? So the birds are not hurrying to get more bird seed. There is an infinite amount of bird seed, right? We have plenty. They're playful. Their movements are sparked by, gosh, just the moment. They feel like moving, they move. And I want you to imagine what that would feel like in your body if your body were able to just do what it wanted to, whenever it wanted to. If we had this playful energy moving throughout us. And what I think is going to be a little interesting about this sequence is that we're going to incorporate this idea of playfulness and moving when you want to, but yet with more of a yin practice where you're supposed to be still and hold the poses. And how do those two come together and meet? I want you to imagine that the more you focus on the birds, the more you can feel their energy. Remember, don't let that be a heightened, crazy kind of energy. It's an exciting, playful energy. It's just all about living life in the present moment, right? I highly doubt the birds are thinking about something in the past or they're thinking about the future. They're just all about the temperature is fabulous. The weather is amazing. There's all this bird seed in front of me. My friends are all here. I want you to focus so intently that maybe you can hear the movement of their wings. Can you hear feathers moving against each other? And then solo in on one bird and watch that bird as it makes a quick decision to just fly up into a tree branch. And what would that feel like if you could just spread your arms out wide and lift up off the earth and just land wherever you wanted to? Imagine that you can feel and embrace that type of freedom. And then take a slow, deep breath in. Let it go. And very peacefully open your eyes. So we'll try to carry some of that into our practice with us. Let the right hand find the earth. Inhale that left arm up. Take that side bend to the right and play here. So move a little bit. And then make your way to center. Release that left arm down beside you. Inhale the right arm up. Take it to the left. And then make your way back. So if you have a block or something similar, go ahead and grab it. I want to take the legs into a very loose cobbler. So don't bring the feet in as close to you as you normally would. Push them away so that the legs are more in like a diamond shape. And in fact, separate the feet just a little bit. So what I want to discover in a lot of yin poses that we're going to incorporate today is that it's all about working on the tissues between the muscles and tendons, getting a stretch in places we wouldn't normally, noticing things we don't normally notice in our vinyasa, and finding stillness. Now, how are we going to stay still yet incorporate this idea of playfulness? I don't know. We'll find out together. But What I want you to notice about the legs being out wider like this in front of you is that the pose really is no longer about opening the hips. This pose becomes about the spine. So sit up nice and tall. And then I want you to take your block and just set it out in front of you, highest height. If you're using something else, you can make a little tower, right? All right. I want you to slowly hinge forward. Use your hands to support you. And in this pose, it's okay to round the back. We're working on the spine, remember? And let's see if we can get the forehead to rest on whatever prop you have. Now, if that's not going to happen or you don't have any props, you can allow the head to hang in this pose. If the neck gets tired, go ahead and lift it for a few moments to give it a break, and then just release it back down. So as you're getting comfortable, we want to stretch, but we don't want anything super noticeable. There's no pain in yoga, right? There's no pain in yin poses either, even though we're holding them for a while. Yes, you're going to feel them, but I want you to be relatively happy. So here's your time to shift, move around, do what you need to do. And then we'll kind of settle in here. Start to relax. And, we can consider just this pose itself as being playful. I mean, as adults, how many times do you plop down on the ground and sit like this? So let's consider for a moment that that is the playful aspect of being right here in the present moment right now. Feel that beautiful curvature to the spine, and imagine that you can just see all the tissues that surround the ribs and the spine itself just stretching and peacefully existing. And we can't see, of course, what we're stretching. Maybe you can't even feel it. That made me think about, we recently hung up a hummingbird feeder. And it only took 1.5 days for us to spot a hummingbird. And what I thought was fascinating about that is they must be all around, but we never see them. We never see them. I watched one zoom off into some bushes that we have, and I started thinking about, wow, how many hummingbirds are in there, right? We don't know. We look, we see the leaves, we see the branches. We might see and focus in on where those branches are reaching, right? But our thought might go to, oh, need to trim that back, or wow, that's gotten a lot larger than it was last year. But what's within? How many birds are in there? And so this theme is kind of about seeing what we can't see. Seeing what we can't see. Notice if you're hanging on with the legs at all. Imagine that gravity has just reached up through the earth with these little light tendrils, grabbed onto your thighs and slowly pulling them down just a little bit. Not because I want you to open the hips anymore, not because I want you to stretch out the legs anymore, because I want you to notice if your muscles are gripping to keep the legs in place. You can, of course, always take the feet out further in front of you if you want to. If you feel like, well, this is all fine and dandy, but I am not working anything, which is truly the point in yin anyway, what you could do is take your block between your feet, which might allow you to feel the hips a little bit more activated. So that's an option for you as well. Bear in mind that, in a traditional yin class, we might hold this pose for 7-8 minutes. We're not doing that in this sequence. I'm going to have you in each pose for 2 to 3 minutes perhaps, but I'm going to talk you through it so that I can distract you if the pose is too much, or well, having said that, the pose shouldn't be too much, should it? You would have already moved. but we're also going to incorporate other things between our yin poses. So having said all that, I tried to keep you here longer. Go ahead, take a deep breath in. Big exhale. And let's use the hands to walk their way up the legs. Push your way up, round the spine, let the head be heavy. And then the head will be the last part of the body to lift. Perfect. Go ahead and set your block aside. And let's widen out the legs. Upavista Konasana. So wiggle your way in front of those sit bones. Close your eyes. For a moment, flex the feet. Feel the backs of the thighs making contact with the earth. You know what a great addition to this pose is? I can't do it in here because I'm on carpet, but I'm just mentioning it for you to try later. If you're on a hard floor, take a blanket or a towel and put it in front of you, and then slide that towel or blanket towards the left foot, bring it all the way around, pull it back in, switch directions. That'll get some core activated, but you definitely are gonna have to be on a hard floor for that. Okay, let's walk the hands forward just a little bit. Now, soften the feet. Just wiggle them out. Rotate the ankles a little bit so that you're not flexing, but you're also not pointing. Just let them be. Drop the head here. And so these yin stretches are very small, but strong, effective, and give you flexibility. Coincidentally, all those words I just said are the symbolism that's attached to a hummingbird. Small but strong, adaptable and flexible. Okay, let's take the hands further, one handprint. Only you can gauge the distance between you and the ground, so you might grab whatever prop you're using and also bring it back out in front of you if you think that we're going to get low enough to get the forehead to the prop. Otherwise, don't even worry about it. Keep holding it right here. Option to stay here or slide the hands out another handprint length. And so if you find that your head can make it to your prop, I want you to notice that I still have my arms straight. I now want to relax them because technically in a yin pose, I don't want any muscles working. So if my head can make it to the block, I can then relax my arms. If you're not using a prop for your head, obviously you need your arms to support you. You could try dropping to the forearms a little bit if that's okay for you, but I want you to make sure you're comfortable and not in any pain. So you do what you need to do. Remember, the hummingbird is adaptable, so you need to be adaptable to your poses and make them adaptable to you. Inhale here. Exhale. Imagine you can feel the legs getting heavier. Gravity has sent her little tendrils up again to wrap around the tops of your thighs. So there's just a gentle pressure of pulling down towards the earth. Perfect. And then again, as you walk your hands in towards you, round the spine, allow the head to be the last part of the body to lift. And then if you have a prop out in front of you, go ahead and set it off to the side. We're going to help these legs of ours, so get your hands underneath the knees. Oh, pull the legs in. And then just take your hands behind you here. Knees are wide. We're just going to windshield wiper out the legs. You decide if you need to kind of hang on one side a little longer. Does it feel really good, or does it feel better to keep moving? And then bringing the knees back to center, will you turn the fingers in towards you? We're coming up into tabletop or reverse table. So when you're ready, lift it up, hold it here, not holding the breath. Breathing deeply. I want you to imagine, just like those birds when they take off, you know, all that wind underneath their wings that helps them lift. Feel that wind underneath your hips. Big inhale. Exhale, gently release the hips back down. We're going to stay right here. I'm just going to move my hands back a little bit. The right ankle's coming up on that left thigh for our seated pigeon. So push the right leg away from you, right? Okay, we're going to try something a little different here. Turn the fingers outward and walk the hands further back down the mat. All right, you're going to feel your shoulders move forward as you kind of settle into the space between the shoulders. It's okay. Close your eyes right here. Now, of course, if this creates any issues on the elbows or the shoulders don't like this, walk your hands back in closer. Try not to lock the elbows. That'll help. But no pain. So you make what changes you need to. And you might be thinking, well, this is the saddest pigeon ever. I don't feel a stretch in my right hip, my right glute. That's not what we're focusing on right now, is it? So you sink a little more between those shoulders, some of the balls of the shoulder joints forward. And decide if this is the place for you to stay. For me, my elbows aren't thrilled with this, so I'm going to come in about a handprint. Each of us listening to our own body, right? I'm still going to round my shoulders forward. And then take that left foot and see if you can get it in any closer to you. And if you can't, you can't. We're not worried about it, right? We're like the birds. We're hanging in the present moment, so not worried about what my pigeon looked like last week or what it's going to look like next month. It just is what it is. And then I'm going to bend into my elbow slightly. That'll give me some leverage here. I want to take that left foot and bring it all the way across my mat to the right so that I can resettle as I push up into double pigeon, which is, of course, ankle over knee, knee over ankle. I would say find your happy place here. That might be a challenge. Not everybody's favorite pose. Do your best. If that right knee is way up high, put something there to hold it up. And then close your eyes. And let's just make this option A. Option B is going to be to come forward. So you can get your hands out in front of you perhaps. Maybe you make it down onto your forearms. It's possible you might want your block or something else to rest the forehead on. You know, and you're going to have to set some some self-judgment aside, right? If that right knee, if the hip is tight and the right knee's up high, I obviously can't get very low on my fold because my leg is in my way. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If your eyes are open, close them. I want you to envision the birds again, except this time you're one of them. And just feel the sheer joy of just being present, of flitting about, doing what you want to. I want you to notice how light you feel, how effortlessly you could lift your wings and just take off into the air. And then, of course, I'm curious, do you like imagining that you're one of the birds? And what bird did you pick? Like, what kind of bird are you? All right, use your hands. Head's the last to rise. Round your way out. I'm going to move my prop aside if I was using it. My left hand's grabbing my that's my right foot. My left hand's grabbing my right foot. My right hand's grabbing my left foot underneath. I'm going to try to not let go here. Make sure you have room behind you. We're going to rock back, hang on to the feet, and then pull them out to the side. So you end up in cow face, Gomukhasana. The knees attempt to line up with each other. We're going to pull the feet out wide to the side. You can rest your head here. If you can get the feet and the shins to stay there, you could wrap your hands around behind both thighs and draw the legs in a little bit closer. Yeah, I feel that. Good job. One more deep breath in. Exhale, hug both knees to the heart. So allow them to untangle. Take the arms to scarecrow and drop the knees to the right side. Head will turn left. So go ahead and be one of the birds again. Why don't you try opening your wings and taking off upwards into one of the trees, and maybe you notice when you get there that it's a lot cooler up where you're shaded under the leaves, or perhaps you notice how you can hear the leaves moving against each other, but you didn't notice it when you were on the ground. And then from that bird's eye view, look down at all your friends and see them scurrying about in their playful way. Add on to that. It doesn't have to be anything I just said, right? Maybe you notice something completely different. We're going to bring the knees back to center. Hug them in. And then get some rocking motion to come back up to a seated pose when you're ready. I'm going to replant my feet, take my hands behind me. This time it's the left ankle that's coming up on top of the right for our seated pigeon. And then remember, we turn the fingers outwards or behind us, and then walk the arms out, see where they're comfy. Soften into the space between the shoulders, drop the chin. You can go back to the bird vision if you like. Again, do a scan through the body. If my elbows weren't comfortable the first time that far out, doesn't surprise me, they're still not, so I'm going to bring my arms in just a little bit. We're going to see if that right foot is able to come in any closer. And as you envision flying around on your own wings, I want you to start thinking about adjectives, what it feels like. While you're thinking about that, I'm just going to add a soft bend to the elbows, wiggle my right foot all the way over to the left, and come on up into double pigeon again. And so as I picture myself flying around, I don't know, I feel free. I feel really light. I feel in charge because I'm the one choosing where I go. So perhaps empowered? You, of course, right now are empowered to decide if this is option A for you, or if you want to come into option B by adding that fold, and do you want or need a prop out in front of you? So from here, remember the hands are going to push you up. Take your time. Move your prop out of the way if you had one. Right hand grabs the left foot. Left hand grabs the bottom foot. And then as I roll back, I'm going to pull on the legs so we can come back into Gomukrasana. Trying to line up the knees again and trying to get the feet to go out different directions, left to right. And you can either hang on to the feet or ankles, or if you can keep them there, put the hands behind the thighs again and draw in. Strong inhale when you're ready. As you exhale, knees to the heart. Arms to scarecrow. Gently take the knees to the left, turn the head to the right. So it truly would be interesting for you to think about what type of bird you are or what you're seeing yourself as. And then, of course, Google it later to find out what the symbolism is behind that specific bird. I'm simply seeing myself as a sparrow, so I'll look that up later. Mostly they're brown, so that's earthy, root chakra. Yeah, I'm curious. Are you a blue jay, bluebird? Are you a male cardinal? Are you a golden finch? Yeah, there's so many colors and ideas and options. Okay, bring the knees back up. Hug the knees in again for a moment. And then get some momentum to sit back up. Sweep the legs out behind you to come into table. So here's where we're going to switch a little bit from yin to vinyasa. Find your cat-cow when you're ready. And then neutral spine. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Take a moment, walk it out, see how this feels. And again, feeling gravity reach up through your mat to gently wrap her tendrils around your ankles. That doesn't mean I want you to force your heels to the earth. If they're not there, they're not, there's a reason. But that energetically you feel like the heels are being drawn down towards the earth. All right, lift the heels, round forward. Let's find plank. Chaturanga. Rise into cobra. I don't know about you, that feels really good. Deep breath in. Exhale, bring it down. Push up into table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Neutral spine, tuck the toes. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Step that right foot forward, find your low plank. So drop that back knee. You can untuck the toes if you want to. Lift the heart, drop the head, close your eyes. Gravity reaches up through your mat to wrap her arms around your low back, your sacrum, so sink the hips down a little bit more. See, sometimes we don't even know we have more to go. We get into the pose, we hold it, we don't even realize muscles are hanging on. But just that idea of softening, we do have more to sink, more to give, more to release into. Okay, back to table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Neutral spine, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Left foot is stepping forward for that same lunge, so set the back knee down, untuck the toes, settle in here. Heart's gonna rise, head's gonna drop. And then again, envision gravity, reaching her arms up, around your sacrum. Oh, just feel everything kind of sink in. Like I can feel her support, feel the earth support, gravity support. It's okay to drop. One more breath here. We're going to take it back to table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Neutral spine, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Walk the hands all the way back, forward fold, Uttanasana. You might just gently bounce a little bit here. Soften into the pose. Maybe you're going to shake the head out a little bit. Inhale, monkey. Hold it right there. Walk the hands back out, downward facing dog. Round your way forward into plank. Hold plank. I'm going to take my feet right next to each other so I can tip on the outer edge of the right foot and find side plank, Vasisthasana. You can take that arm up if you want. You can take it over. Big inhale. Exhale, plank, breathe. Good job. Drop onto the outer edge of the left foot, find side plank on this side. If you need a variation, drop the bottom knee to the earth to support you. Inhale. Exhale, plank. Chaturanga. Find cobra. Hold it for a moment. And then slowly come on down into Sphinx pose. So we're on the forearms. Fingers are spread wide. Arms are parallel. Close your eyes. Slowly, slowly, slowly drop the head. Now while you're hanging out here, relax. I'm going to read you a poem by Mary Oliver. Of course it's called The Hummingbirds, right? The female and two chicks, each no bigger than my thumb, scattered, shimmering in their pale green dresses. Then they rose, tiny fireworks, into the leaves and hovered. Then they sat down, each one with dainty charcoal feet, each one on a slender branch, and looked at me. I had meant no harm. I had simply climbed the tree for something to do on a summer day, not knowing they were there, ready to burst the ledges of their mossy nest and to fly for the first time in their sea green helmets with brisk metallic tails, each told wing with every dollop of flight, drawing a perfect wheel across the air. Then with a series of jerks, they paused in front of me and dark-eyed stared as though I were a flower. And then like 3 tosses of silvery water, they were gone. Alone in the crown of the tree. I went to China. I went to Prague. I died and was born in the spring. I found you and loved you again. Later, the darkness fell, and the solid moon, like a white pond, rose. But I wasn't in any hurry. Likely, I visited all of the shimmering, heart-stabbing questions without answers before I climbed down. Go ahead, lift your head. I want you to turn the fingers outward, the whole hand, fingers facing outward just a little bit, and then go ahead and lift up into seal if that's okay with your back. If it's not, stay down in Sphinx. You decide if you want to lift the head or if you want to drop it. I like how she pointed out in that poem that she didn't know the hummingbirds were in the tree. It's just what I was saying about not knowing what's around us. We can't see a lot of it. I mean, if you think about walking outside in your backyard, how many animals and insects and birds are out there that you have no idea about? I don't mean to creep you out. I'm just saying we can't see them, right? And then I like how the end of the poem is all about traveling in the mind. Remember, I believe we all have the answers we need. They're deep within. And so when we use meditation and stillness and quiet to get to that space, those answers are easier to access and to hear. Okay, come back down into Sphinx if you are not already there. And then just bend the knees. So the feet are just kind of falling in towards you. You can do a little bit of kicking and moving here for a moment. Notice how that feels. Does it feel different? And then you can either stay here or slowly come back up into seal. Now this is going to feel a little different with the knees bent, so please take it slowly. If it's too much, come back down. You could widen out the arms. You could take them forward more. You decide, what's right for you, but no pain. Should be a stretch in the low back, but no pinching. Again, you can keep your head lifted if you want to. You can drop your head. And then slowly lower the legs. Slowly lower the heart. Slide the hands back in underneath your shoulders. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog when you're ready. Three deep breaths. Walk the hands backwards, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale it down. Inhale, monkey. Walk the hands forward, downward facing dog. Come forward into plank. Take your vinyasa. Good job. And then just bring one knee forward, set it down so you can sit in the middle of your mat. Perfect. We're going to need a prop again out in front of us. And this time, the legs are coming into cow face. We already did this when we were laying on our back. We're going to do it seated. Right leg is on top. Okay. I'm going to move my block back out in front in a moment. I just don't want it to block your view. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale to the heart. Okay, so if you do have a block or something else, highest height, right in front of your knees. I'm going to take the arms into eagle. So let's take the right arm underneath the left, right? See if they'll wrap around or backs of the hands together. Elbows are shoulder height, we're rounding the shoulders forward. So why on earth is that block all the way down there? Well, let's see if we can come forward and get the elbows to rest on that block. Now, that block seems to be about the height of my knees, so if that's not going to work, maybe you can get the elbows to rest on the knees if that kind of hurts. And grab, I don't know, something like a sweatshirt or something soft that you can put underneath the elbow. And then I'm just going to drop my head forward. So this time while you're hanging out here, I don't want you to be the bird. I want you to be small enough to ride on the bird. You're tiny and you're seated on the bird's back, and perhaps you're hanging onto the wings, or your arms are outstretched to hang onto feathers, or however you see it. And then let that bird take off with you. I want you to compare how that flight feels to when you were the bird. Stay with that image as you come back up. Release the arms. Stretch them out, shake them out. And then we're switching the legs so that the left leg is on top. This is another one of those poses where if the knees don't rest on top of each other, and you're kind of like this, you might actually need your prop to hold that leg up and see if you can tip back into that left sit bone. So play around here. Remember, part of this theme is about being playful. And then inhale the arms up. Exhale to the heart. Legs are in Gomukhasana, arms in Garudasana, left arm underneath the right. And then when you're ready, check out where that block is and see if we can get forward and rest the elbows on it and drop the head. Good job. Slowly come back up, release the arms, shake them out. Perfect. Release the legs, or you might say free them, right? Oh, stretch them out in front of you for a second and just walk them out. All right. And then I want you to come onto your shins, sit back on the heels for a moment. You have quite a few decisions to make here. What we're going to do is take the hands behind us and just kind of lean back. So first of all, I need you to decide if you want to be seated on your heels and your ankles, or if your feet don't like that, then can you sit down between the heels? Now, your knees might not like that, so then I would suggest you could make this a supported pose, right? You could sit back on the block, which is super comfortable, I'm not going to lie. But now you're farther from the ground. So I want you to play around here. I want you to notice that when you are seated on the heels, when we take our arms back, then this is a pose that has to do with the quads. You're going to feel it right here. If you are sitting like this, well, actually your quads might feel it here too, but what I want you to also pay attention to is how the spine feels. So, I don't know, I worked out legs yesterday. I feel the quads in both poses, so you decide what's best for you and slowly make your way down. You know, that might mean your hands never leave the ground. You decide. You might be super flexible and can get your spine and your head and your neck all the way down to the earth. I'm not sure I'm feeling that today. So just find what makes you happy. And then I'm curious, when you were riding on the back of the bird, what adjectives came up? You know, which did you like better? For me, when I was picturing that, I liked being the bird. On the back, I feel like I don't have control, which we don't. I don't know, I feel like I really have to hang on, and I don't like that feeling. So curious what you thought. Go ahead, make your way back up if you haven't already. Free the legs. They're so happy now, right? Come on down onto your back. Hug the legs in. So that line in the poem about not knowing the hummingbirds are there, I want you to think about how that relates to your yoga practice today about, you know, those yin poses stretch tissues that we don't even know are there. We don't think about it. Probably furthest from our mind when we're exercising. Pay attention today. See if something stands out to you that you wouldn't normally have noticed. All right, go ahead and stretch out the legs on the mat. Reach the arms way overhead. Oh, huge breath, huge stretch. Let go and relax when you're ready. Whew, that felt good. I don't know about you. Go ahead and draw that right knee in. And then send that leg to the ceiling. A little hamstring stretch here. Let go with the hands. Big inhale. Exhale that right leg down. Slowly hug that left leg in. Send that leg up to the ceiling. Release with the hands, big inhale. Exhale that leg down. Oh my gosh, how good does this feel? Okay, set your alignment for Shavasana. Get comfortable, grab any prop you want. Close your eyes. Gently feel gravity reaching up. She's hugging on to your ankles, She's hugging onto the space just beneath the knees and the space just above the knees. She's got her arms wrapped around your hips, around your abdomen. She's wrapped around your wrists and your biceps. She's gently drawing your shoulders down. And she's ever so softly around your forehead. She begs of you to just trust her, to let go, to grow heavy, but feel the support underneath you that rises to hold you in place. You are now your bird again. I want you to take a moment to admire your beautiful feathers. Stretch out your wings, look at the patterns, look at the texture. See the softness of the feathers. Allow a gentle breeze to just move through you, over you and around you. You see your feathers ruffle slightly. You can hear them. And then, as though no thought were involved at all, lift away from the earth. We leave the heavy physical body behind on our yoga mat. Our spirit takes off in the form of this bird. I want you to soar. I want you to feel ever so light. And I want you to inhale this energy of playfulness, of breathing in life, of living in the present moment, and of allowing just the present moment to be. I want you to lift your right wing a little higher. See if you swoop to the left, and then lift the left wing and swoop to the right. Allow the wind to catch you, lift you higher without you using any energy whatsoever. Feel how happy that makes you. You might choose to go higher towards the sun and feel the warmth across your back. You might choose to come down lower and fly underneath the leaves of the trees where the shade exists. It is all up to you. Head off, play, explore, and be, and I'll come back and get you when Shavasana is over. If you're still soaring about, allow your bird to return to the earth. And saying goodbye to the bird, just letting your perspective shift, bringing the focus into the physical body that's lying on the mat. Feeling gravity release you, saying goodbye. Start to deepen the breath as you invite movement into the hands and the feet. And then keeping your eyes closed, let's slowly plant one foot on the mat, then the other. Draw one knee into the heart, and then the other. Peaceful movement from side to side. And when you're ready, you'll tip to one side in a fetal position. Slow, deep inhale through the nose. A really gentle exhale through the mouth. And as you push the ground away with your hands, let the head be the last part of the body to rise back into your seated position. Another deep breath in. Super loud exhale. Inhale your wings all the way up above you. Bring the palms together and release them home to your heart in prayer pose. The light in me bows to the light in you. When I'm in that place in me and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.